We who are about to rock salute you. Everybody bang your head, bang your head. Ow, how are people able to bang constantly like that for years and years and years? If I bang like that for years and years and years, I'd be so goddamn sore. I need an ice bath every single night after so much banging. But anyway, Metal Lords is a Netflix original from director Peter Sollett, who directed Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. And this is written by D.B. Weiss, who wrote some episodes of Game of Thrones. This is his feature film debut, as I do so recall from his IMDb, and this stars Jaden Smith, who was billed from It. Any non-wrestling fan has no idea what that is referencing. Adrian Greensmith plays his friend Hunter, and Isis Hainsworth, who is an upcoming actress who was in the remake of Emma. Very, very terrific remake, by the way. These three come together right now to win the Battle of the Bands. Okay, so it's not exactly the best song reference, but basically, this movie involves these three wanting to come together and share their love of music and metal to win a high school band competition. That's pretty much it. And not everybody is a metal band. In fact, they are basically Kevin, played by Jaden, and Hunter, played by Adrian. Yo, Adrian. Are two friends. They've been friends since the third grade, and Hunter's kind of an absolute fucking dick, and Kevin's an endearing, nerdy guy that gets in the metal thanks to Hunter. And then Issa's character, Emily, she comes along. She came over from, I believe, Scotland. They aren't exactly totally sure. Scotland or somewhere in the UK, not exactly sure. She comes over and she loves music, but she also has issues, like throwing her clarinet because she is tired of the band teacher getting in her way. So basically this movie is just a coming-of-age rock comedy drama with some good message, good messages basically about loving your friends, finding your first love and holding on to it, goddammit, and getting a dream, holding on to it, and shoot for the sky. Okay, yes, another wrestling reference that any non-wrestling fans will not get. This movie just got released on Netflix recently, like last Friday. And I looked at the trailer and I go, okay, it doesn't look like it's going to win any awards, but it looks like it might be kind of fun. It turned out to be a lot of fun. It's not perfect. There are certainly some issues as far as, well, character arcs and everything, but there's enough endearing, like quality about this to where you can overlook any of the flaws. Also, man, they must have had a blank check to get all that licensed music, and Machine of Torment, my fucking goodness, they must have just said, play that song as much as you goddamn well want. But from Avenged Sevenfold, Metallica, Judas Priest, so many goddamn songs. It's also filmed in Portland, Oregon, and by Christ can you tell with some of the particular places they're at, because it looks all desolate and weird, like Portland. If you've ever been to Portland, I even think people in Portland would identify with the city being weird. Enough about Portland. Basically, two high schoolers, they're forming a band. They want to win Battle of the Bands. Hunter is very driven. Kevin, he likes the band. He likes Hunter. They get along, but he also wants to do his own thing. He kind of feels pressured into this stuff. There are other bands along for the ride, like one that isn't very good. They kind of just do generic pop songs. And those are the only two bands you really see. Also, there's bullying, there's typical stuff, obviously. It wouldn't be a high school drama / comedy if it wasn't. And in the spoiler section, it's going to be very, very small because there aren't a lot of things that really spoil in this. Emily basically is a cellist, and a very good cellist at that. And Kevin realizes, hey, wait a second, that could give us a new edge, that could give us a twist. We could have her as part of our band. Hunter does not relent at all. In fact, he's a dick and ends up eventually acting out and kind of bullying Emily at one point. And Emily has some issues where she has rage fits. And yeah, that's what you do when somebody's coming along with your best friend. You scare them off because you're a fucking dick. That's the one thing about this movie. The main sticking point is Hunter was a real asshole. Now, there are reasons for it. He doesn't have the best structure at home, and in fact, really, you get to see his parents, you get to see Kevin's parents, you never get to see Emily's parents. Another thing that I noticed about this. But in this movie, there's typical party scenes and the growing up and that kind of stuff, and figuring out who you are and drinking and whatever, because why wouldn't there be drinking in a comedy like this? It's lighthearted enough while also having some good undertones as far as accepting who you are, and it's, maybe also realizing that you can't force people to be to be what you want. You have to let them be themselves and recognize that if you need to change, God damn it, you better change. So yeah, all that licensed music, all that stuff, they did a lot of work putting that stuff in there. Now, did it seem kind of force-fed, horseshoed in? Sure, you could say that. For Whom the Bell Tolls, I love that goddamn song. That was great when they did a montage of that. And from there, we have this kind of coming-of-age rock comedy drama. And it's nothing new. It's not going to reinvent the wheel, but it is crowd-pleasing. It is quite fun. Yes, I thought a movie was fun. I've actually been giving more movies more positive grades this year. It's actually been a hard split. I either really like it or love it, or I absolutely hate it. And I'm not just talking about crowd pleasing. I'm talking about any of the movies I review. This falls into the former, where it's really quite good, enjoyable, and breezy. The movie's done within, I think, 90 minutes, 92 minutes, and then the credits start, so it doesn't overstay its welcome. And it has some funny moments to it. It does have some characters that are just kind of there just for no reason, like the bullying characters that are just there. And I mean, it does lead to, I guess, one sort of payoff at the end. I mean, not really, but it's your typical, story with a bit of a twist and some good enduring qualities to it. So it's on Netflix if you want to check it out. It's absolutely worth it. Again, it's not perfect, not going to reinvent the wheel, but it is quite good. So anyway, now I'm going to get into spoilers. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. Okay, so Kevin falls for Emily. Emily has some medication she takes, some happy pills. They get together, literally get together, and he says, well, you may have some issues about you, but you are perfect. You're perfect to me. And there you go. That's some good, endearing shit. And that felt like a very sweet thing and a good story arc. It seemed like that was a natural progression. Hunter's character, however, wasn't the most natural progression. His dad isn't really all that great as far as accepting how he is. He's a surgeon, even though we don't see him doing any surgery. And he's got a contentious relationship with his dad. And he does keep acting out a whole bunch of stuff. They do partying. He tries to go and get Kevin at one point when Kevin goes to be part of another band at a wedding. And Hunter gets in trouble. He's all dressed up like a rock god and everything. He's got all the metal spikes and the makeup and everything, like he's like he's either Sting in Lords of Salem or Lord in Sting of Salem. Lords of Salem. Man, I missed that opportunity. But anyway, they basically have a bit of a fractured friendship because at this point, well, Hunter kind of acts out and does a demonstration for class and kind of picks on Emily a little bit too much, to the point where after she said she didn't need her medication, she did need her medication, and she snaps and smashes up a bunch of his stuff, which is understandable, especially if you get pushed too goddamn far, even if you don't need medications. I mean, they can push you only so much before you snap. And then Hunter does one too many wrong things. His dad puts him in like a rehab center, thinking that he just needs help. And then there's a subplot about this guy named Troy Nix, who was part of this band called Kiloton, and they ended up being one of the best, or the best unsigned band in the United States, unsigned metal band. But they broke up because it turns out he didn't really get along with his bandmates. He was drinking a lot. He had to end up, going to rehab. And he said yes, 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 unlike another singer. And then he got clean and became a doctor, behavioral doctor, a way to give back. Since Hunter's there, he basically tells Hunter, okay, there's nothing wrong with you. You'll be discharged on Monday. The Battle of the Bands is this Friday. He's got to get out. So Kevin naturally manages to sneak in there on his own, get there, get him out, and then they do the Battle of the Bands thing. This is after Emily, by the way, accepts his apology, but just can't do it because obviously with her issues, with the stuff she's dealing with, she just can't accept it suddenly to, like, okay, somebody, who harassed her is suddenly, apologizing to her. And obviously that'd be very traumatizing. And then a few minutes later, she shows up decked out and goth stuff, and holy hell, nice look for her. She shows up and she's playing the cello. They're doing Machine of Torment. They're just doing all this and having a great goddamn time. And then there's the bully that comes back, and they get in the mosh pit thing, and everybody's doing their stuff, and he knocks Hunter into the speaker stuff, and they fall over. And the speaker stuff falls over and snaps his leg, and the bone pops out. Also, the band's name is Skullfucker, and they changed it to Skullflower because high school. But whatever, it was kind of funny. They end up, everything ends up working out. stuff with the dad works out. Dad, it's like, okay, well, you broke your leg, you're going to be fine. At least I can get arrested. Progress, yes, progress. And then they play more songs. War Pigs, I believe, or War Pigs. I'm not that up on my heavy metal stuff, but the whole thing is the movie's endearing, a lot of good licensed music, and while not necessarily something that is going to set the world on fire and go higher than before, this will actually end up pleasing a lot more people, I think, than I had originally thought. It was very entertaining. B plus for me. Again, not an A grade, but B plus. And Mrs. Hainsworth, I think, has a very bright future as far as being in more, supporting the leading roles like this. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rickland. I'll see you soon.